should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Hump Day! TMW Online, the Melanated Way. Linda Abby. I know this is like a weird, crazy time, but we wanted to make sure we caught up on all things before the 90 days. Season 8, 18 and 19 we're covering. So we're going to be here for a minute, but we're going to try to like consolidate it all so that we can do the tell-all live with y'all. So bear with us, buckle up, and let's get to it. Episode 18, Emergency Exit. Listen, these last episodes, they just like, let me just throw it all in. We're wrapping it up. So we're gonna throw it all in. We're gonna make the edit short and quick and get to the point. I was like, oh, okay. So what's the scariest thing you've done? Your most adventurous thing? I'll start with Abby. You guys let us know in the live chat. We're gonna share a few of our adventures with you. Abby, you go first.
Okay, I was trying to choose between two different things. One, I went ziplining in Costa Rica, but in the ziplining, they didn't tell us that we were going to be rappelling and then jumping off of the zip line. So that was me rappelling, and believe it or not, I am petrified, and they had to talk me into going down the mountain. So I was super sympathetic with Elise.
Love it.
But I was really proud when I actually made it through.
I love it.
The other thing was just simply going to Antarctica was scary because you go through the Drake Passage to get there. And then they gave us an opportunity to polar plunge, like to actually get into the Antarctica waters.
Is that this one?
So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the nurse right there. They have like medical staff just in case anything happens when you go to get into the water. So that was the nurse escorting me back on. So, but okay, I don't think I'm super big of a risk taker. I think I'm like really conservative as far as risk goes, but I did feel really good that I did those things, like super accomplished.
And this one looks so awesome.
That's the one where they had us jump off of the zip line. So you go halfway between the starting point and there's a cave on the other side. And when you get to the middle, you have to jump off the line. There's no other way.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I will share some of mine.
We're getting personal stuff from Linda today, guys.
Okay, so this is Jamaica, ATVing in the jungle. I had so much fun. It took me a minute though, right? Because so one thing you guys may or may not know, I love everything car related. Like I have driven everything from a garbage truck to a sports car, all the things. Like I've always been like very tomboyish, even though I'm very girly. I know it doesn't make sense, but anything that's like moving, I'm going to try to figure it out. And so this was one of my favorite things. And then, hey, Raydella, this should be familiar to you. So they do Indy every year, the Long Beach Grand Prix last year, all their different cars. Again, if it's car related, I'm totally there for it. Like, just give me something to drive. I got you.
Okay. Is that Dominican Republic?
It was so good, you guys. So good. So a lot of great little memories for adventures. And so, give me a little adventure. I'm there for it.
That looks really fun.
It was really great. You guys tell us, what is one of the fun adventures that you guys have done. Let us know in the comments or in the live chat, and we can talk about it. That being said, Elise and Joshua, what were your thoughts on episode 18, their segment?
I like the way it ended, but I was very confused why there was any back and forth at all. I was very confused about why Joshua was whispering. I was very confused at why he was apologizing if he said he did nothing wrong. There was just a lot of confusion here that I think could have been avoided. Just go home, Elise. You don't need him to escort you to the airport.
Facts. Hey, Winnie. Hey, Joslo. Hey, Silver Linings. Yes, we have a late show today, you guys, because we need to catch up so we can be on board with the tell-all. Elise said having schmecks while her ex was flying a plane was the most adventurous thing that she has done. She also admits that she's not super adventurous, but, if it's for her man, that's what she's going to do. And so one of the things I thought was interesting is that she's been planning all these adventures for them, trying to still, quote unquote, make it up to him for confronting him, which I just thought was odd because, he's the one that has been in the wrong. Mm-hmm. So she found abseiling to do, and she didn't know what it was, but she booked it. It looked adventurous. That's what she was going to do. And basically you're jumping down a waterfall into a pool of lots of water. It's freezing cold, all this stuff. And we already know that Elise runs cold. And so she was complaining the whole way. But it was Empress Falls, looked really, really gorgeous. Canyon, wetsuits, rock pools. And to me, it looked super fun. I was like, I would absolutely do that. 100%. And so I wrote down that she was having like very princess behavior where she was just like, oh, this is so cold. It's so wet. And she was really starting to freak out. So they had to like cannonball into a bunch of water. And it was like a 3 feet cannonball. And she started complaining. She started freaking out. She started crying. She thinks she has hypothermia. She's halfway down the rocks. And she's like completely like just screaming all the way down. She's crying. And Joshua's like, I don't know if she's a drama queen or what's happening. But then he sees a bunch of people around her because she was really being extra. And I thought something happened to her. But you guys, she was just cold. Like she was not in danger, but she was making us feel like she might have been in danger. And I just thought it was too much. What did you think?
I actually felt sorry for her because, like, first of all, it's her fault she didn't research exactly what it was. But at the point that Joshua realized she didn't know what it was, I thought he should have explained it to her so she could prepare mentally for what she was about to do, or either to say, I actually am not into that. I don't want to do that, because sometimes you don't know when your fear is going to hit. We just showed all those pictures of things that I did, right? But when I was in Peru and we did Machu Picchu, I was up there just like exploring and looking around, and all of a sudden we were ready to start heading down, and out of nowhere, this like strong wave of nausea and fear washed over me at the thought of stepping down. I had no idea. It was like the tour guide had to coax me down the steps to get going, because every time I tried to lift my foot, I was like, oh, I thought I was going to fall and roll off the mountain. And I was like, there's nothing that's going to stop me. I'm just going to roll all the way down Machu Picchu. So I did feel sorry for her, because you don't know when the fear is going to strike. But, people think she's a little dramatic anyway. So maybe it was just being dramatic. I don't know. I got no dog in that fight.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I thought she was being extra about all of it. But that was just me. So she's cold, complaining, freaking out. She feels overwhelmed, scared, and tired. She thought she was gonna die, which I just think is a lot. He ends up comforting her, which is exactly what she wanted. He had the best time, she didn't. So, you know, je ne sais quoi. That it is what it is. Hey, Becca. Hey, Tyway and Cherokee Cindy. What up?
Yes, Ty's
Cherokee,
Way back. Hey.
Cherokee says, yes, Abby, definitely a mental thing, and it hits randomly. I agree with Joslo. She's over the top in every way. However, I love her. I love her. You guys, I love her. I love that she sticks to her. She might be extra, you guys, but she sticks to what she believes in, and I'm all for that. So, they're on their way back from their adventure. He gets a text, and he's acting all like weird about it. And on the way back, they also go to Echo Point, which is like beautiful views in Australia. He tells her he has bad news, that she's not going to be able to FaceTime with his son, which I thought was BS. I was like, either the wife wants not, like your ex wants nothing to do with you, is not introducing this kid to some random, or there's more to that story, because a FaceTime is only a FaceTime. You know what I mean? What do you think, Abby?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I've seen some speculation, can't say if it's true or not, that he is not the most involved dad. So perhaps he really did ask for permission for a FaceTime and she has the right to refuse it because he's not consistent.
I mean, I heard that he's a deadbeat as well. And so, I mean, I don't have any facts behind it, but that's what I've heard. And so, yeah, she's disappointed, and they are laughing again about how cold she gets. And I laughed because I was like, I get that. I get cold easily too. So I get that. They go out to eat. He says he's in love with her, and she's like, well, do you really mean that? And he's like, yeah, I do. And it's their last days together. So she's going home the next day. She doesn't know what the future holds, but she's also not really just believing his words, which women, I think, is so important, right? She's all about actions. He can say words, 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 but I feel like this is part of the work that she's done. And part of the work that she's done is, I'm not going to just believe your words. I need to see the actions behind these words. And this whole trip, his actions and words have not synced up. There's been no resolution with his job, with his living situation, with his money, and now with his son. So she's like, you can tell me all the things and tell me, yeah, come move here, but like, where are we gonna live? And he's like, oh, we'll figure it out. That's not a plan, y'all. That's not a plan. If a guy doesn't have a plan, that tells you everything you need to know. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, she's not settling, and you all should never settle either. So, he asked her, how do you feel about me? And she's like, I'm falling for you. And he's like, oh, but you don't love me? And she's like, well, I'm not in love with you yet. And I thought that was the most honest she could be, right? Because so often we say things that we don't really actually mean. Like, do you love this person? Because, you know how Abby and I feel. You guys were online dating, which is like the equivalent of being pen pals. You meet in real life, you spend 3 weeks together. Do you know if you really love that person? Because you're still on vacay. That's your holiday bay. You don't even know how he's really living, because you're in an Airbnb. And with his frat bro, who's paying his bills? He's staying at his, I don't know, girlfriend's house. She's paying all his bills. He has no rent. And like, no. So for her to be honest and be like, well, not yet, because she doesn't know him. I thought that was super fair.
This is very, and it hasn't been like a great vacation. So like, I wouldn't say I love you even in the best of circumstances. And this is near the bottom of circumstances.
Right. And so she asked him, how do you plan to make this work? He's like, just move here and we'll figure it out. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little scared about this because you seem unstable. Now, I think what I'm going to do is do episode 18 and 19 each couple and then move forward. I wasn't going to do that,
Exactly.
but that makes more sense.
I think that's the best way to get through. So we could just go ahead with what happened in 19 with them.
So in 19, we find out that she's leaving in an hour. Okay, so it's the next day. She's leaving in an hour. And last night, he invited some of his friends over to the Airbnb, 2 girls and a guy, to party. We find out that Chris was there, but Chris stayed in his room the whole time. So what was the point of having 2 girls and a guy on the last night when this woman is flown halfway across the world to be with you, and this is her last night with you? But instead of not even staying in a place where you guys can be by yourselves, you got your buddy Chris there. Now her last day, she can't even spend it with you because you want to party with your buddies that you could see tomorrow. And I don't even know, 2 girls and a guy, what is that? And so she stayed in the room while he partied. She wakes up in the morning, she's super upset, she's crying. She looked down at her phone, he stopped sharing his location. What does that mean to you guys? I personally think that was a hookup. That was like, let me hook up with these girls. My bro has another girl. I bring him over. If she's not going to give me the attention, I'm going to get the attention from somewhere else. And then not sharing the locations. He can't like rub a dub there because she's there. So he went, didn't want her to know where he was going to be, did whatever he had to do. And that's why when you ask Abby, why did he come back and he's like being quiet? It's because he didn't want Chris to hear how much of an asshole he is. You literally, I think, I think you did some dirty dog behavior when you had this woman right here that flew across the world for you. It just sounds crazy to me.
Absolutely. He was upset that she didn't say, I love you back, and got in his ego. Like Linda always says, when men get their egos hurt, they behave terribly.
100%. Becca's asking, does Elise have her own income though? Is that also why she's worried about his job? No, she's filthy rich. She comes from a rich family. She's rich. She's like a trust fund baby. So money's not an object to her. She's worried about his money, Becca, because she's been scammed before. And I think it was like 500K. Or yeah, it was like 500K.
It was a pretty good bit of money. And I don't know. I mean, she does something. Like, she comes for money, but she also does something in addition to whatever brand deals she gets on social media. So she has her own streams of income.
She's got money. That's at the end of the day, she's got money. That's her concern, is that she doesn't want to be the sugar mama to any guy.
Correct.
Period.
Correct.
So she feels like Joshua needs to stop partying. And again, she talks about how his actions and words aren't aligned. We see that Chris goes into her room because he hears her crying and he's comforting her. And, you know, at that moment, I thought maybe she's dating the wrong guy. Maybe she should have been dating Chris the whole time. And I know how you feel about Chris and Joshua, but I do think that in the times that we've seen Chris, even though he's a hanger-oner, I don't know, he just seems a little bit better, a little bit more stable than Joshua. What do you guys think?
I would need to know so much more about Chris. Like, the fact that he's there in the short-term rental is still so very confusing to me. So, like, maybe if we had more information, we could say that. But then, do you want to date a guy who's friends with a jerk? Are you not the company you keep?
Well, I already told you the frat boys, so they are what they are, for sure.
Yeah.
So Joshua comes home and he quickly goes to the bedroom. Chris goes to his bedroom so they can have some privacy, which is interesting to me because, you know, anytime they fought in front of him. So you know that this had to be some serious business if Chris was like, let me go mind my own. He says, Joshua tells Elise in a hushed voice that he was upset, so he drove off. He's so sorry. I should have really spent the last night with you. I'm so sorry. Please, please, forgive me. And you're the one that said, when I asked you if my friends could come over, you said yes. And she's like, well, I'm a people pleaser. He's like, yeah, but you still said yes. Oh Lord, you and Jocelyn are on the same page. Chris was the boyfriend, Elise was the beard. You and Abby believe. I'm not on that page, but yeah, to each our own. Then he goes to gaslight her and says, if you're going to make every situation a big speed bump and a massive thing, then this is not going to work. And I was like,
every situation? Or do you think this is normal? Do you think this is just a normal road bump? What are you talking about? We're not talking about running out of spaghetti.
I just think it's wild. Like, you lied about where you're living. You misinformed her about your job. We find out that, allegedly you're a deadbeat dad. You don't have a place to live. And you don't have any money, but you party every day. And it just doesn't make sense at all. So when you're saying that she's the one that's making everything a massive issue, is she over dramatic? Yes, but you were giving her reason to be dramatic. Had you not been completely lying all the time or telling mistruths or half-truths, then she wouldn't be reacting the way she is reacting. And she reacts the way she is. And that's that. But be honest and stop being shady, and you wouldn't have these massive reactions. It's so stupid to me. She feels like he's off and on and very erratic. And I agree with her. Today you're like lovey-dovey, I love you. Tomorrow you like take off. Today you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I love you. And then you're like, no, like, what is it? So she's on the way to the airport with him, and she just doesn't know. But you can see she's trying to like figure it out, and she's listening to what he's saying. But by the time she gets to the airport and he continues to gaslight and say, I love you, she's like, I can't do this. It's not going to work. Even though my heart wants you, I would be doing myself a disservice, and I would be settling because your job situation is not very clear to me. Your son's situation is not clear to me. Your living situation is not clear to me. Your monetary situation is not clear to me. And so her instinct as a people pleaser, she wants to take care of him, but it's not her job. And that is when I was like, bravo, sis. Bravo.
Yeah.
You are not taking on this project because it's not your project to take on. This fool is like 40. Mm-hmm. He needs to get his life together on his own. And if he has you as a safety net and you move there, you're going to be miserable because it's just going to be this. If he has to figure it out himself, it's going to be up to him to figure it out, and not for you as a woman to rescue him. Because so often we rescue these fools and they don't appreciate it. And then guess what? They leave you anyways.
Right. Because then they'll resent you for being the one who believed in them and helped them. And I hope she maintains that. I hope she doesn't, in the meantime, in between time, get on the plane, have doubts, and allow him to weasel his way back in. I hope she stays there with the no, because she does tend to say yes when she doesn't want to do something. So just stay right there, Elise, I hope.
Yep. So she goes on to say, he continues to say he loves me, but when I said it's over, there was no reaction from him. She wants a guy that fights for her. And he's like, this is his response to guys. He's like, oh, I did what I could. Now, I just thought that was wild.
Yeah, he was like, well, I got to go get my stuff together to move back in with Nat.
Facts. He's like, that's why I went to her first, because I wasn't going to give up my sugar mama. That was for sure. Mm-hmm. Do you want to add anything else before I move on?
No, we're good. Let's go.
Forrest and Sheena, thoughts on their segment?
I have some immigration thoughts on their segment that are completely separate and apart from Molly's horrible behavior. I do think Forrest needs to go back to the United States. I do want him and Sheena eventually to live together in the Philippines and have a good situation. But my fear is that if he was to stay right now without having some organization, remember he told us at the top that he didn't even really bring any clothes with him, you know? So if he was to stay right now with no kind of organization, no things of his own, and he's completely depending on Sheena to take care of him, she assumes more of a mother role than a partner role. And I don't want that for her. I want him to go get on his own 2 feet and then come back. And I think that that is a better situation for them visa wise, with applying for his visa to stay in the Philippines, and a better situation for their relationship.
Okay. With Josh and Elise, Silver Lining said he had that party to get rid of Elise, and Jocelyn says exactly what I think. Josh doing his best to make her run.
Maybe he thought because she leads with sex that he was going to have some kind of wild escapade that night, you know? Like, he asked her the very simple question of, like, what's the most adventurous thing that you've done, when they were talking about going abseiling, and she turned it into a sex conversation. Like, she doesn't mean to be that way, but she leads with sex a lot.
Yeah, but you know what? He's trash.
He is trash.
He can be a sexual being. Men talk about sex all day, every day. They think about sex all day. And we don't say, oh, he's leading with sex all the time. So again, I stay firm in what I believe. And I believe women can be equally sexual, own your sexual being, and don't have shame about it, because that's how men live their lives all day, every day. So for us to be told, oh, don't lead with it, don't lead with that, I'm just not a proponent of that. I think that as women, do what you want. Just make sure that that's what you want to do, period. Full stop.
You absolutely can do what you want, but I do think that Elise sometimes, since the things that she's told us about her past, you know what? I'll save that for another day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk about that. So, okay, Molly is the worst as far as I'm concerned, and Molly needs to work on herself and mind her own business. That being said, Molly tells Forrest to stop thinking with his pecker and start thinking with his brain, and Sheena is so upset that she walks out, and Forrest is like, I've chosen Sheena to be my wife. And Molly's in panic mode. And the only reason she's in panic mode, you guys, because that's her money. Her son is her whole life. She has no life of her own. She's more than a helicopter mom. She is living vicariously through her son. She doesn't want to let him go. Plus the money. She would be nothing without her son, because she doesn't have her own identity. She has a husband that doesn't say 2 words. He's like a mute because he just goes along. He's like a trophy for her, but her real relationship is with her son. And so she doesn't want to let go of that power and control she has over Forrest. I can't stand it. So when she said she was in panic mode and she doesn't believe that it's going to work out for them, because she doesn't want it to work out, you guys. She really doesn't. And then says again that his autism affects his reality. You know how much that pissed me off? I'm so sick of her talking in generalities. In general terms about autism, when this fool has shown that he's more responsible than her. She can't even travel properly. He's taking care of her. So don't tell me that his autism is affecting his reality. It's making me mad. And also, it's such a stereotype for people who have autism. And literally my note says Molly is outrageous.
She's just so rude. And like, I was just so bothered by the fact that Sheena keeps apologizing. Why should she have to apologize when she's being insulted for no reason? This could have been a civil conversation. As a parent, I would simply tell my child, okay, well, there's some logistic things that you probably want to work out if you're planning on staying here. Do you mind, like telling me what your plan is for work or what your plan is for where you're going to live? Like, do you want to talk about that kind of stuff? Instead, she just like gets really, really irate and rude.
Yeah, it's terrible. Ty's Way says every time they pan to him, the husband is looking into space. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, I said Molly's outrageous. And then Sheena is like just scared of this whole situation because, Molly's yelling and pointing in her face. And so she walks away, but because she needed a break from the toxic of it all, but she knows she has to stand up for herself. So she comes back and Molly continues to degrade Sheena. And Sheena, this is what I loved, because in that whole group, you guys, the whole group of people there, Sheena is the professional. You got two people, three, because Dev, right? But whatever, he's like a statue. I know Dev doesn't work. Molly surely doesn't work. And Forrest he's had one job his whole life. He's almost 40 years old. He had one job. So guess what? Their job of schmoozing the system, that's their job. And that's why she's so upset if, her moneymaker is going to stay in the Philippines. I just don't agree with it. I think cut the ties, because what's going to make Forrest all of a sudden decide that he's going to get a job? He's going to go back, because think about it. You're energized. You're on holiday. You're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. But then when you get back to your life, quite quickly, 2 weeks into it, you're back into the routine of things. And if his mom is telling him, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, he's just going to do what he's always done, which is nothing. It's terrible. Anyways, okay, so Molly's the only professional. She's a veterinarian doctor. And she's funding this whole trip for all of them, paying for their dinners, paying for the Airbnbs, all the things. So for Molly to be so disrespectful, it is beyond me. For Molly to be mad at Sheena for spending her own money and supporting her family is beyond me. I think Molly's being disgusting. And when she said, you've never worked here, you've had one job in your life, you have autism, I just didn't appreciate it, because that to me is a form of parental manipulation. And a lot of people go through that. As parents, your words, whether your kid is 5 or 25 or 45, your words are powerful. And it's your words are powerful. And your child, whether they're a child or an adult, always have you in high regard. So what you say really has an effect. That's why, let me not get on a tangent, but that's how you keep your kids in line. You just talk to them and you speak life and truth into them, and that's what they're going to believe. You want to know why kids are running amok out there? Is because the parents are amok. And I don't care what y'all say. Oh, don't blame the parents. Yeah, no, the parent is the problem, because guess what? If it's going to be a gang or the parents, if it's a stable, loving parent, that kid's going to make wise decisions. But if the parent is lame and doesn't have the tools, then guess what? The kid is going to go find tools somewhere else from some other older figure that's going to make them go in a different direction. So yes, I blame Molly, because Molly is manipulating her grown son. He thought he made a decision, and now he's not. He made a different decision as soon as his mom said, oh, you have autism and you can't do it. And oh, by the way, You're going to go on an assumption you can get a job here. And then says, even if you do, how much do you think you're going to make? And I know in her mind, she was thinking about the money that she's making through him. Is that going to be equivalent? And then now that money's just going to be his money instead of their money. Stop. Molly is evil. That's my note. Molly is evil. Forrest feels like he doesn't know what to do now because now his mom is back in his ear. And one of the things I did like that he said is, I have to overcome my own disabilities. So his mom is telling him how terrible and autistic he is. And then he finally says to her, well, I have to overcome my own disabilities. And I was like, bravo for Forrest. But he's conflicted what he should do. But overall, he's going to listen to his mama because he's always listened to his mama. And he is going to go home. He thinks he's going to get a job, make money, apply for the K-1 visa. Sheena starts crying. And this is a side note. I know I've been like, boo, boo, boo. Side note. It's the last day at the Airbnb. And they come back from having lunch or dinner or whatever they were having, and they had their outside clothes on the bed, and it bothered me, but I won't get into it. He's leaving, gonna listen to his mom. She is still trying to get him to stay, and says to him, we had our plans, and I want you to stay here. I want to grow with you, and I just want you to have you here. And then he says, I can't do that because he feels like his mom is right. And I just said he chose his mom over her. What do you think about that?
I mean, in the way that he's making the decision, yes. But in the reality of the world, he needed to leave anyway. Like, you can't just move to another country on a whim. But I disagree with his plan. His plan is to go get a job and then apply for the K-1. That's not what I think he should do. I think he should go home, get a job, get his things together. Like, before I moved to Mexico, before you moved to the US, you probably did some of the same stuff. You need to get your degree converted. You need to get some things apostilled. I applied for my work permit here before I went there. Like, you need to have some things in order and plan some things to have a smooth transition into another country. You don't just stay there on a whim and then things go great. Like, take some time, close your house down, consolidate your bills, put some things in storage, like, get your life organized, okay? And then he should move back to the Philippines because she is the professional. She is the one who's mostly going to be losing out more by moving than he would.
Can you talk to us from a legal perspective? If he was on this visa and wanted to extend it, what does that look like?
So I've never done this in the Philippines, but I've heard that it's very easy, that there's an office that you can literally just walk into and apply for an extension. They'll ask you why, and most of the time they will go ahead and approve it, so long as you can prove that you have the funds for your stay in the country. And then their application process for a marriage visa is very straightforward as well.
So technically, I mean, he could have stayed. I think maybe he should have, like Joslo, I think, said, maybe at least extend his stay. Spend some time just with your wife or your future wife without your mama breathing down your neck and see what that looks like. I don't know.
I think that would be a great idea. If he had a ticket where he was able to adjust his departure date, that would be a great idea. If he did not have a ticket where he could adjust his departure date, I don't want Sheena paying for that. But if he did, absolutely stay a little bit longer and start going through the logistics of, okay, what kind of job could I have? What do they need from me in order to be able to get that kind of job? Or can I go to school here? What documents do I need to go to school here? Because I had to get some of Taylor's documents from school apostilled to register for school when we went to Mexico. Like, there's just too many things to be done if you want to do things, in an easier way to just move on a whim to another country.
Yeah. So my note then says on episode 19 that this is all lame. Forrest is leaving, and it took them 7 years. She waited, I forgot about this, y'all. She waited 7 years to see this fool. 7 years. The cameras and all. 7 years. 7. And
So
so
can you imagine, like, now that we're at the end, imagine this picture. You are at work all day, right? And you come home and log into the camera to see what your boyfriend's doing. He's just been at home cooking, chilling, hanging out with his mom. Like, in what world was that attractive to Sheena? Like, good for her. She found her partner. He adores her, whatever. How do you stay attracted to that for 7 years?
Couldn't be me.
I have a suspicion that his disability check doesn't even go into his own account. I bet it goes into his mom's account.
Oh, for sure. I think, what is it? Section 8, whatever, like subsidized housing. I think they live side by side in subsidized housing. I think that she gets the money for everything as a dependent, even though he's a grown ass man. And that's why she's the one that is like taking him shopping for, clothes and like she just controls everything. So
I bet she takes his money and she probably gives him like an allowance. She probably has his food stamp card because they do it on a card now instead of regular like coupons. Yeah,
I'm totally not for it. Becca says she finds him very attractive. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So one of the other things that I thought was interesting was that Molly said, quote, "I'm afraid of the future," doesn't trust Sheena, says she's the ultimate manipulator. And I was like, takes one to know one. You don't trust the future because you don't want to lose the control that you have over your son. And if you're calling Sheena a manipulator, you must know what that looks like. And then goes on to say that she's happy that she was able to save Forrest from making the biggest mistake of his life. No, ma'am. Nope. You're happy that you were able to manipulate your son into going back to his same old drudgy day-to-day lifestyle. You couldn't even get on that plane without him, I promise you. Because you first time on the plane, first time out of the country, you lost your passport, you didn't know what to eat, your neck, your back, the whole thing. You think you're going to make it back on your own without him guiding you? Absolutely not. And Dev, your husband, he's not doing anything. That lump on the log on the lump, please. And then goes on to say, because she knows that if she can put distance between the two of them, she'll be more, it will be easier for her to continue to put a wedge in between their relationship. So Sheena's all crying. She hugs Molly goodbye. Molly feigns like being sad, but then also says, she knows that Sheena loves him and it's sad to her that she may lose Forrest. And that's when I said shaking my damn head. Because where did that come from? It only came from you because you want this to be over. Forrest is wearing some weird cowboy hat. I don't even know where it came from. Apparently it's his favorite hat. He gives it to Sheena and tells her to wear this every day, which I laughed at. What? She's a professional, right? She's not wearing a raw cowboy hat every day. She didn't even wear it the whole filming of the last part. She took that bad boy off and put it in her hat because what? He's like, it's my favorite hat and I'll come back for it. She's like,
she took it literally. Like, no, the dogs will eat, the dogs will chew it.
That part. I was like, you all are wild for that. Do you want to add anything else to them?
Let's go. We're moving good.
All right, we're going on to Javon and Annalyn. Thoughts on their segment for episode 18?
I have a question for you. Do you like surprises that come at the expense of your feelings?
I don't like surprises, generally speaking, so absolutely not. I like to know what's going on. Even planning, like it's very hard. Because I have to plan my life around whatever the plan is. I know that sounds crazy, but I like to know things. Give me the information, and then I will digest it and do what I need to do. But I can be spontaneous, right? I can be spontaneous, but I like to have an overall plan. And you guys know me. I'm nice, but my face will always give me away. So if you're doing some random stuff that I don't like, don't surprise me with it, because we all will feel uncomfortable.
Right. I don't like surprises either. I actually think we talked about that before. But I especially hate surprises that come at my expense. Like when people do those pretend to break up and then propose. I hate those. I hate those so much. Do not hurt my feelings, okay? And I don't like surprises because I don't like to have a certain reaction at any given time. My parents surprised me with a car, and it was the hardest thing for me because everybody's like shouting and they're all excited, like, oh, we got you a new car, and there's a car with a big bow on it. And I was in my head thinking, I have 2 depositions tomorrow and I have all this stuff in my car. Are we supposed to move the stuff from my car into this car? How is this car getting back home? Is somebody going to follow me back home with my car? Like, that's what was happening in my head. Don't surprise me.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it. Tell me. Tell me. I'm not a fan of Javon. I'm just not a fan of it. And this storyline took a turn that I just was not expecting. I didn't know this was coming. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. And now here we are. So she had no ring at the top of episode 18. She was sad about it on her renewal day, but she was going to stay positive. She's happy that she's finally getting a semi wedding of her dreams, because they've been married for 6 years and they got married online. So vow renewal day, she's getting her hair and makeup done, and this is the real wedding because they didn't have a real wedding. I don't care what y'all say. Getting married on Zoom is outrageous. If it's not the last only, like, no, it's outrageous to me. And literally my note says he's the worst, because he's sitting there all Debbie Downer-ish and she's trying to like have her moment, right? A lot of you guys dream about your wedding day and all this stuff and all and he's just making it terrible for her. And so he's like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm nervous. No excitement on his face. I don't believe that for 1 minute, but he's dedicated to doing this, but he's feeling anxious because he thinks that they have a different idea of what romance is. Javon.
That would have been a great time for the producer to say, what is your definition of romance? Because I'm actually very curious what he thinks.
Same, because I feel like romance universal. We all know what romance is. So what do you, Sir Incel, think romance is? Because I'm confused. His energy is off, in my opinion.
I agree.
Then tells her before they even get there that he doesn't know what he's going to say on his vows. You've been saving up for how many years to make this trip? You know that you guys are going to do this vow renewal and you put no effort into it. And now you're telling her the day of that you don't know what you're going to say for your vows, but it's going to be basic. Again, low vibrations. Yes. What is romance? Low vibrations, low effort. He's the worst. He's just the worst, you guys. I don't know. Like, let me be single, because that is absolutely not. You telling me on my wedding day or vow renewal day that you don't know what you're going to say, but it's going to be basic? How is that
He
not
could have
sexy, Abby?
he could have pulled something from a movie, or even just said, I think this poem expresses my words very well, but instead he was just like, I'm gonna wing it.
Not even wing it. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be basic. Whatever.
Just ridiculous. Just
Ridiculous. And she notices it and says, Javon's acting like this is any other day, and she's really, really disappointed, as you should be. And again, I don't know why we are allowing this behavior. Like, as women, why do we allow this bare minimum behavior? I don't, just to say you have a man, I still don't get
yes,
it. She wanted
that's exactly it. That is exactly it. It's the worst. You know how America has like the best PR? Like, people think that living here is good, but it's actually trash. Men have the same PR agency hired for them.
That's funny. That's funny. Annalyn wanted the day to be fun and full of love, but she's realizing that everything is not okay. Her mom walks her down the aisle, and these are Javon's vows. I vow to cherish you, love you, honor you, and obey and protect, learn patience, and put up with your sassiness. Annalyn vows to continue to be a good wife and pick up after his dirty socks. And she didn't expect him to be perfect. And she will make sure that he's not ever alone. When I tell you, you guys, that these were the worst vows I've ever heard in my life, absolutely not. What in there is your undying love to be partners, to walk the journey of life together, to support each other, to love on one another, to appreciate each other? Like, no, absolutely no. This not put up with your sassiness. Why are you all like this? Why are you guys like this?
He actually said nothing that was actually complimentary.
At all. Literally, my note says this is lame. Lame.
I could off the top of my head right now, I could do better vows than Javon. Ready?
I just did better vows. I just did better vows right then and there. In the 30 seconds, if you guys rewind 30 seconds, my vows were better, and that was just off the top of my head.
So Linda talked about undying love. Okay, here's my better vows Javon could have done. I know it's been a very long time for me to finally get here and meet you in person. And I am just so ecstatic that you were able to wait for me and to persevere, and that you have loved me through all of this. And you have been so supportive of the times that I'm tired and I still have to go to work. And you've been so supportive since I arrived here with exposing me to all of the culture. And I could not have hoped for a better introduction to your culture and to have a better time with you and your mom. And I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
That is fantastic. It's a great vow, but are we talking about the same dude? Because none of those words are in his vocabulary, and absolutely not in his intelligence range. We do find out that he got the ring, so that $250 or whatever that he had to like rob Peter to give to Paul from, he found it. And so she was happy. They share a kiss. She's happy about the ring. They have a small reception. And what I thought was funny is that in the small reception, the friends are even looking at them like, getting married online is crazy. They said the wedding date. They have a cake cutting. She's happy. She's feeling loved with this whole thing. And my note says, you know what I was wondering, Abby, is maybe, I don't know, I know I tell you guys I want everyone to get tested. I just really do. But I wonder if Javon's been tested for borderline personality disorder.
I don't actually know what borderline personality disorder is.
Long story short, it's like detached. They have a detached personality. They don't attach and make friends and connections very easily. It's very like it's like a detached relationship. I don't know. I feel like he might have it.
I mean, but would that apply to somebody who, in response to why can't we be more romantic, their response is, but I send you money every month? Like, if the person was detached, wouldn't they be kind of more like, so what do you mean by spend time together? Or what do you mean by romantic?
That's what I'm saying, Abby, is that we don't have time for me to look it up.
Okay. We're gonna go because we're rapid fire, you guys. We're gonna be able to do this and get to the tell-all. So
that part.
None of my silly detours.
In episode 19, so this whole 18 episodes, the relationship was trash. So I'm shocked by episode 19, like literally shocked, you guys, because I, again, did not see any of this coming, and it makes no sense to me. But she's on the toilet. She's taking a pregnancy test because she hasn't been filling herself. And it's been a few weeks since their vow renewal. Jovan, again, found some money somewhere. He ended up extending his stay. And his visa. Before I go on, from a legal perspective, does that work the same way as it? Oh, well, they were in the Philippines, so yeah, it does. We just talked about it. Same. So he extended the stay. He was able to stay, and I guess he was able to show that he had some money to extend the stay because they ended up doing some extra traveling, extra jiggy with it, and turns out she does a pregnancy test, turns to them and says, check this out. She's pregnant. They're both happy. I am shocked and appalled. Shocked and appalled. And you know what I thought of, you guys? I think maybe it was Abby that we were just I was like, wasn't I just talking about this with someone? Were you just talking about how the DNA tests and all these men who were in the military and they had like thousands of babies? Then I watched because you guys, I'm stuck on true crime. And by the way, FYI, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. You guys know I love like all things Law and Order, all things true crime. I just did a brand deal with Reels, REELZ, and On Patrol Live because I love that show. And so you're going to see a lot of like true crime stuff coming from me shortly. But that being said, I just watched a true crime about this man, okay? This man, it's on Netflix. Can't remember the name, but it's on Netflix. One singular man. This girl somewhere, I'll just say somewhere. She is biracial, black and white. This man, she did a DNA 1, 2, 3 and me, whatever you guys call it. And turns out this man has 100 kids. And but acted like he was dead, but then she ended up finding him on Facebook because, the young kids find out all the things, and reached out to him. He blocked her. She found him again.
Oh, I saw this one. This was the young lady in Kenya with the British soldier. Yes, I saw that one too.
100 kids, 100, 100. 100. Anyways, I say all that to say that's the vibe that I was getting from this. So this fool took 6 years to get with you, and then you all are, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it. You guys are all raw dogging it out here, and you don't even know this fool, and now you're pregnant, and it took him 6 years. You think you're not going to be a single mother? You are. So she's packing his bags because, again, he has that incel behavior. He thinks that the woman has to be subservient to him and do all the things, and she is falling into line, and now she's going to be, quote unquote, barefoot and pregnant, and this fool can't even send proper money and has 3 roommates. Why are you tying yourself to a loser? He's leaving tomorrow. She's anxious, as you should be, because she feels like they have a lot to figure out. Yeah, you do, because you and your mama are going to be raising this kid. Okay, because then he doesn't know when he's coming back. He literally said maybe before you go into labor. He now, instead of like, hey, this is a happy, joyous moment, and I'll do everything I need to do to bring you over or for me to come here, whatever, he feels more pressure because of the finances, because now there's a baby involved. Her mom is happy that she's pregnant and hopes that they don't end up as a broken family. If that's not foretelling, I don't know what is. Because you know what? The mama wants to be happy, but the mama already knows. This fool took 6 years, spent like a month with you, let's say, and now you're pregnant. You think it's not going to take him another 6 years to get back to you, if he gets back at all? And now there's a baby. You think he's going to be responsible and send you money for you and your baby now? Are you crazy?
You know, sadly, this didn't actually surprise me. I ranted about this a while back, but there are a great number of people who think that having a baby gives you some kind of priority immigration-wise, and it doesn't. There are a great number of people who think that having a baby lights some kind of fire underneath a man's feet to make them change or make them do things faster. Remember Greg and his partner from the last season? They were living in his mom's house, and she says, oh, I think if I get pregnant, it'll inspire him to finally get our own home. And that, like the other thinking that we were talking about, where women will, accept men who shouldn't be accepted, I understand where that comes from. But this idea of getting pregnant to force an action, that I don't get. I don't know where that comes from. It does not work. It does not give you priority immigration-wise. And it is very frustrating to me when somebody comes to me and they're like, my partner is pregnant and they're in a different country, or I'm pregnant and my partner's in a different country and I want to expedite my application. It is not a basis that the US government allows for expediting your application. It's not.
Listen to her. She's an immigration attorney. Y'all are ridiculous. Having these ridiculous. Shout out to Olivia. Yay, glad to have gotten alive. Yay, welcome. And hey, Ryan. Hey, girl, hey, it's been a minute. She says, I was shocked to see Jovan with Annalyn in the tell-all preview. Listen, girl, we're not there yet, but yes, that tell-all looks wild. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add before we move on to Laura and Beer Can?
Let's go, Laura and Beer Can.
Overall thoughts on their segment.
I think everybody has forgotten that Beer Can is homeless.
I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten he's homeless. I was not impressed with any of this, y'all. No. This is not, if we want to define romance, this is not it to me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My answer is absolutely not. You don't have a job, you don't have a home, and now you're doing what? A rinky-dink what? Oh, no. Oh. Y'all, these streets are trash. And if you all are for this BS, then shame on you, because that is wild to me. This fool is a gambler, has debt, no job, no home, no money, and he's proposing. Are you guys crazy? No.
Everybody's lost their mind in this segment.
And then, so let me rewind because I know I'm jumping ahead to 19, but I was just so shocked. But let's rewind this a little bit. And then you, Laura, paid for an Airbnb. He wanted time away from you. So you paid for a hotel that you stayed in with no change of clothes. And you were A-okay with that? You were A-okay with that. This fool is what's wrong with y'all? No. So she got a room in Michael's hotel so that she could give Beer Can some time to cool down. But she misses him. What are you missing exactly? Because what is he bringing to the table except for your deranged fantasies about young Turkish men? She's serious about the relationship, so she wants to make things work. So she's gonna do a peace offering. So she goes and buys some traditional sandwiches and some sodas and brings it back to the Airbnb that she stayed out of, but she's paying for. Where when he came in and he was kicking it on the balcony, that's what took me so long, Abby, because all the things they do that are so outrageous, I'm like, she's sitting on the edge of the bed, all in her nasty overnight clothes that she slept in the bed with, outside clothes, and then kept those same outside clothes, went and bought food, came, and he's chilling on the balcony.
Look, Beer Can had a great night alone. He used every single square inch of that Airbnb. He was excited. He probably stepped in every single corner.
You in the Airbnb chilling that you purchased? Are you guys like, no, thank you. So she brings him like he's like kindergarten. You know, here's your sandwich, baby. Here's the peace offering. Here's some soda for you. She apologizes to him about not telling him about the Michael situation and flirting with Michael. He asks her, why did you mislead me? I'm still not really clear about what the issue is because, like, again, what does she need to tell you? Because you all were online friends. You just met in real life. So she didn't tell you that her alleged best friend she tried to kiss. Although you guys, I understand what's going on here. She wants two men to be fighting over her because that's a whole like insecurity thing. Like I get that, but put that aside. I don't understand like why this is the big deal that it's being. So what? She didn't tell you that she made a move on him. So what? You guys were on an online relationship. Like what? Y'all hadn't even met yet.
Yes. But part of the reason why you feel like it's not a big deal is probably because you just don't like Beer Can anyway. He has nothing to offer. So like, what leg do you have to stand on to be demanding anything from anybody? Exactly. You know, he probably had one of her credit cards or some cash, and he ordered him in some food. He was in there with some kebab, with a nice fresh herb salad on the side, and some fresh lavash. They don't call it lavash in Turkey. What do they call that? The bread that they oh, it is lavash, right?
Gosh, you're right.
That fresh bread. I just know he was in there living it up. He had a nice long shower.
Ryan, that is so funny. So funny. Okay, so she apologizes for not the Home Alone thing. On my whole, that is so funny. Okay. She didn't tell Beer Can about Michael because she was worried that if she told him that she had feelings for Michael, that she would have to stop her friendship with him. And he's like, well, you had feelings for him? I get that. Do you still have feelings for him? And she's like, well, no, you're not a replacement for him. I love you and I want this to work out. And then again, I went back to what Elise was saying about actions speak louder than words. Laura, this seems a little manipulative because no one said anything about a replacement, but you guys, when people talk, listen to what they're saying. He absolutely is a replacement because you got rejected. Then you went and found your fantasy dude from your fantasy books. You flew halfway across the world to be with this 20-something. And now you're like, oh, but he's not a replacement. That's not a Freudian slip. That's what she's thinking. But she's telling you that's not what it is. I promise you that's what it is. Then says to Beer Can, would you feel better if I cut him out of my life? And he's like, can you do that? And she said, yes, Abby. What kind of cockamamie best friend situation do you have? I'll tell you what. I'm choosing my best friend over this random 3-week vacay bay. Every day, all day. Are you guys...
She didn't mean that when she said yes. Like, silver linings, go ahead and talk to us here, because this is just her writing more of this book fantasy that she has, where he's then going to, Michael, make a plea to continue their friendship, and it's going to continue being a tussle of her between these two men, one who says he cares about her and the other has hidden feelings, according to her, that he hasn't expressed yet, and she lives in this tension, and it's all in her head.
No.
I am disappointed by their whole segment, though, because they led us to believe that we were going to see Laura have surgery. And I'm very interested in Turkish plastic surgery. Like, it's a hot spot for people to go get plastic surgery. And I was invested to see her results.
I thought she was going to do that too. Like, why did we do all of that? For what? And we know that Darcy and Stacey go to Turkey like every year. So, show us what you're doing. Show us the before and after. Like, what was the point of showing us that?
Showing us the whole process would have been more interesting than the storyline with Birkin and Michael for me.
For me too. Same. She says that she'll cut him off, and he says, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to cut your relationship with him. I'm okay with him. He's a good guy. And my note says, I cannot believe, again, that she would choose between her best friend and this fool. But she says the best friend and the love of her life. We're good, he says. He loves her, and he loves the life that he has with her. Y'all, I just no. Everything about this.
Yeah. Can't let his sugar mama walk away too far.
I mean, and let's get into it. Episode 19, it's the last day. He takes her to go play soccer. He's actually really good, you guys. I was like, ooh, he's good. With, World Cup coming to town. All that stuff. Black stars all day. Okay, hello. Okay. Off on a tangent, but yeah, he's really good. She's romanticizing even that whole thing, and is looking at him playing soccer, and I know she's envisioning, oh, this is my young soccer football lover. I just want to take videos of him. Oh God, I could picture it. Again, that's what took me so long, Abby, because I was like going down a rabbit hole in my head.
Mm-hmm.
He says out of a 1 to 5 on playing soccer, she's a 0. And that if he was a betting man, and it was between 1 and 2,000, it would be a 1 on her. And I just died of laughter. he goes on to do this whole soliloquy, you guys, and I'll try to I didn't get all of it because it was so long, but basically you thought the distance was going to be a problem in a relationship, but then you know what? Same with this soccer game. You thought the distance was going to be far, but then you hit the ball and you scored. You believed in yourself and you believed in something. And when you believe in something, it will happen. It's the same as our future. I believe in our future and I believe in this. So I want you to follow your heart, just like you follow the ball. And you are my love and I love you. And then he pulls out I was doing so good. I did the soliloquy very well, actually, more than I thought. He pulls out this red string, and the red string, he wraps it around her ring finger. I'm such a jerk, but I just have to. And he wraps it around her ring finger. Like this. He wraps it like this around her ring finger. And then around his ring finger, just picture this being a red piece of string, y'all. He wraps it around his ring finger. And I know this is meant to be romantic, but if y'all could picture like a piece of red thread. He says, this ring. And I was like, what ring? That's some rope. That's some thread. This ring is going to bond us together. And only broke men say, we don't need rings. We just need our bond. Our bond from our heart to heart. You will be mine and I will be yours. And then says, will you marry me? And she said, yes, Abby.
Look, it goes with her dark fantasy romance novel. So that's the only thing that makes sense here because everything else is ridiculous. Everything else is ridiculous. But you know what? That proposal was better than Jovan's vows.
You're right.
He made an analogy between the soccer and the long distance relationship. Did Jovan make any analogies? No. All right, guys, listen. Somebody proposes to you with a string. What do you do? What's your next move? What do you do? But you have to have it in context too, because like somebody proposing to me with a ring, with a string would be preposterous. But I didn't pay for my own flight to Istanbul. I didn't pay for the Airbnb. I didn't pay for all of our food and activities. I didn't get a hotel away from the Airbnb because he wanted some alone time. I didn't sleep in my own clothes and take my musty self to somebody's sandwich shop and get sandwiches to bring over to him to a pot. Like, I didn't do all of that. So to propose to me with a string would be preposterous. But maybe for Laura, it's par for the course. Linda's trying to recover. The bar is in hell.
The bar is in hell.
The bar is in hell. And somehow his engagement proposal was still higher than the bar. I'd be wondering how I did up there. Listen, I was coming out the grocery store one time, and one of the homeless men that was outside rolled up to me and asked me if he could take me out on a date. And I just stood there like, What? How do you think this goes together? And that still is less surprising to me than if somebody tried to propose to me with a string.
I'd be wondering how I ended up here. Like it says, give it back. I would question my life choices.
Like,
Use it to floss.
you know what I would say? Okay, it's completely serious. I would say, is this a religious or cultural practice before I say anything else? And if the answer is not yes,
can I just tell you guys, I get it, silver lining. Yes, it can be cultural. Abby can be cultural, all this stuff. Let's be real here though. Okay. Let's just be real here. Beer Can is broke. Okay, so he could only get an engagement string because he doesn't even have a home, you guys. He's friggin' living in an Airbnb that she paid for. So let's not make it more than it is. He's broke. He found some string and said, I cannot let go of my sugar mama and my quest to be in America. So we already know he's well versed and he likes history and he reads a lot, all that stuff. So yes, he was able to make an analogy. And again, actions speak louder than words. His words are great, but let's not forget who he is, okay? He's in love with Laura, he says, and he says he's so happy he found her. He thought he was going to die alone. And basically, they'll end up together if they really want to be together. And he is already talking about paperwork and visas and getting to America. It's 4 a.m. Michael's on the same flight as her. He shows up at the Airbnb and Laura's feeling anxiety about the future. And she's also feeling anxiety about the friendship with Michael because she says that they're going to need to have better boundaries. Things are going to have to change. She's not going to be able to like cuddle and lay in bed with him, etc., etc. But really, that's only lip service, you guys. She's just saying that because again, she's like she wants the two men to be fighting over her, and the only anxiety she has is that she's not going to have that battle anymore because she's going to have to come to the reality that Michael doesn't want to be with her because she just said that she doesn't believe him, even though his words said, I don't want to be with you. Mm-hmm. And she thought that she was going to get a better reaction out of him when she told him that her and Beer Can got engaged. His face, he laughed. He literally laughed. And he's like, I found you engaged. We became friends. And now here you are again. Congratulations. But we got to get going. The plane is not going to. So I was like, see, he doesn't care. Goes on to say that Beer Can's a good guy, but long distance is hard to navigate and love is definitely not enough. And that is exactly how I feel. In long distance relationships, someone's going to have to move eventually. So how are you going to make that happen? Because distance is distance and you can't keep that forever if you're trying to be serious and have a long-term relationship. What do you want to add, Abby?
I mean, in their case, it'll be a little bit easier because he has 24 hours to text her, respond to her, and talk to her. He ain't working.
What do you mean?
Beer Can, he's got all the time in the world. Like a lot of times people
no job.
They have difficulty because like their schedules don't match and they like can't find time to like talk to each other and stay connected, but he's got a lot of free time.
Facts. You're right. All right, Stig and Aviva. Episode 18, your thoughts on them.
I have so many immigration thoughts, you guys. So many immigration thoughts.
Tell us.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you have, and I missed it, did you have any inkling that Stig wanted to move to the United States?
Yeah, I did. Remember I said it? I said he thought, remember I talking about Soldier Boy saying he was an international superstar and then I compared them and then that's what he wants. He thinks that he can come to America and be a international superstar. And
what did you see? What did you see that you picked up on that?
Because when he said that he was going back and forth to Houston and that America, I can't remember exact words, but basically he was like, America has more opportunities and he wants to get into that same business. I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Okay.
He's a younger version of Soldier Boy. He's finding great.
Now, why wouldn't he tell her that off the bat?
Because he's a manipulator.
He is. I agree.
He's a manipulator. He thought that, again, just like Rick, he thought that if he could get in her pants and make her fall deeper in love and not be able to make her own choices, that he could manipulate her into doing what he wants to do.
Right. So my first immigration thought about them is that Stig clearly has not done any work to understand how to arrive in the United States, because he would be eligible for a visa on his own. It's called an O visa, where artists, performers, entertainers of their kinds are allowed to come to the United States and have, permission to work in the US under that visa. It is the original visa that Justin came in on, Justin Bieber, and then he was able to convert to residency and citizenship through his wife. So he didn't need to use Aviva for that. And if he had just checked on that, he would have not had to go this long, curvaceous route of deception.
Well, it looks like he must have looked into it because he dropped her like a hot potato, but we'll get into it in episode 19. It's her last day in Belize. They're going to miss each other, and they're talking about applying for the fiance visa, and he's like, no, I thought you were applying for me to go to the US. And she's like, no. And this is where I was like, oh, he's gaslighting her. It's the bait and switch because of everything we just talked about. And she's like, oh, well, you want to live in Arizona? Like, that's new information. And then he said, you'll be my sugar mama. So I want y'all to pay attention. These men are telling you exactly it, and you like let it bounce off, or that they're joking or whatever. No, he's telling you exactly who he is. He's always wanted to come to the US. He doesn't care if he's gonna work, even having a baby and all the things that you were doing that was just outrageous to me because you don't know this man. He's telling you who he is. He wants to come to America, usually for that visa, even though, like Abby said, that's not something that he's going to need to do from Belize. And then he wants her to be the provider and his sugar mama while he goes and tries to be a rapper, singer, whatever he's trying to do. And she's like, well, I'm not going to be pregnant and working. And he's like, well, I just want to make it in America because there's so much more money in America and more opportunity. Did you hear what she just said? Because you made it about you again. Did you hear her? Oh, you did, but you don't care? Gotcha. She's leaving. She says to him that she'll find out what that whole filing situation looks like. But they have a lot to figure out. Abso-friggin-lutely you do. Absolutely you do. You need to listen to your auntie is what you need to do. She's crying, is emotional because she loves him. They say their goodbyes, and she, quote, sees positive in the future with him. He, on the other hand, sees the United States and would rather be in Houston than in Arizona. And who's in Houston, Abby?
His family.
And his ex-girlfriend. Producer's like, isn't your ex-girlfriend in Houston? And he's like, yeah. And literally says, I don't have a ring on. If that's not everything you need to know, y'all, I don't know what else is. He's just the worst. Silver Lining has a question for you, Abby. But does he really have the ability to get the visa?
I don't see why not. I mean, it appears that he's popular enough. He's booking venues. I went to his YouTube page and he has a decent following. I don't care for the music, but I don't need to. So yeah, I think he could.
Here you go. It's 3 months later, after she came back from Belize, she's crying. I felt so sad for her because you could tell she's a nice girl. You could just tell she's a nice girl, and she got swindled. A week ago, Stig broke off the engagement. The relationship is over. When she got back, he did come visit her one time. They went to Vegas, and guess what? They went to Houston. And then he went home and he went MIA on her. And she knew that he was like cheating or something. There were other women. He was pulling away from her. And she was like, just tell me the truth. Are there other women? Like, what's going on? I just need to know what's going on. And he's like, it's you. You're the problem. I don't trust you. And yeah, let's end this. And all of this done in a text back and forth. No communication, no phone call, no FaceTime, all via text. And then because he's a child and has childish behaviors, he then posted on Instagram or social media or wherever it was, posted some girl, and it had his hashtag and said to all the single girls, and I was just like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
It sounds about right to me. It's not behavior, but I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, unfortunately for her, her aunt was right, and she would have been less hurt if she listened to aunt a while ago. But we all do dumb things.
Birds of a feather flock together. Live chat is popping. Popping! What else do you want to add, Abby?
That's it. We can go on to the worst man we've ever seen on this show.
So we're moving on to Rick, that is, then?
Yep. He is just despicable. There is no greater piece of shit. Oh, we're on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. That I've it was so horrible watching him. And it seemed like his face kept getting just more and more tight and demon-like.
Yeah, I agree with you. The demon part. He's a demon. He's the worst. He's the worst, you guys. He's the worst. He's the worst. And he's just such a he's a PF. He's a PF. He's a PF 100%. That's it. Okay, so Rick's crying at the airport. I say he sucks. That's my note. Like a weirdo simp. Tell us how you really feel, Linda. You guys, my notes are crazy. Okay, let me just. Okay. Did I say he sucks? Like a weirdo simp?
But say it again, though. Say it again. He sucks.
Like a weirdo simp.
His face is distressing.
Yes. And Trisha's not talking to him. She went back to her apartment. He's in the hotel by himself. And he has no remorse for his disgusting passport bro PF behavior. And he says that he still has strong feelings for his ex in Colombia, and he doesn't know what the future holds. And the only reason that he's not talking to his ex is because she found out that he was going to Madagascar to meet with Trisha. Do you know how disgusting this fool is? Like, he literally is a passport bro, the definition of a passport bro, the definition of a predator, the definition of a tourist, the definition of a loser simp, the definition of an old predatory man, the definition of everything that every woman should stay far away from. This fool represents all these things. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. What she said.
He texts Trisha to talk to her. She says, sure. He's like, I just really want to be with her and talk to her. I was excited about the married life and having a family. I was like, oh, so now we're just gonna be lying and unapologetic for this gaslighting lying, because we've just watched 18 episodes of you saying from day one that you didn't want to have more kids. And now you were excited about it. Like, who you might think that you can trick these young girls that don't know any better, but like this 90-day audience have been watching from day one. We can spot a liar, degenerate a mile away, and that's you. So don't come and lie in our faces. You said that to camera, which is us, the audience. Are you crazy? So he meets with her. And she's not happy to see him. He tries to hug and kiss her, and she's not having any of that. He apologizes. And she's like, you know what? You could have told me. You had 4 days. You didn't say anything. You're at my family house. You didn't say anything. You disrespected me. She feels betrayed. After she also gave him she gave him multiple chances. Okay, Trisha, like, I don't know what to tell you, but like this, like, look at him. Don't you even see that he's like, his personality makes him even uglier? And you've given he cheated on you while you guys were still together and all the things. Now he's lying to your face, and you just keep giving him chance over chance for what? Because you know what? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Men will push the boundary. They will push and push and push to see how much you will take. And if you keep taking them back, they're like, hey, I can get away with it. That's why, for me personally, as you guys know, if you cheat on me, we could just never be together. Because A, I don't like the person I become in that situation. And B, and you think that it's okay. And you're going to do it again, because cheaters cheat, period, full stop. Cheaters cheat, period, full stop.
He said something that really pissed me off. Like, I was already angry at the whole situation. But then he said, I wasn't planning to keep it from you. What does that mean? I hate somebody who tries to tell me what they were going to do. It's been 4 days. You had the information for 4 days. And you want me to believe that you weren't going to try and keep it from me?
That part. Trisha goes on to say, just block her then and make her understand that you don't want to be with her anymore. And then he said it's complicated. He can't block her. And with that, I would have walked up and been like, first of all, I would have been long done. But for her to say nothing, and then he's like, I love you both. I just... Who said it in here? Someone said it in here. I don't know. Someone said, but basically, no. He's a passport bro, period. He doesn't care about any of these girls. What he cares about is this little ding-a-ling and getting his little ding-a-ling off. That's it. That's what he cares about.
Exactly. He's just trying to preserve his access to both of them. That's what he really wants. He wants to have access to both of them.
She is pissed. She says she wasted her time. She's going to block him. And she says that she's never going to be someone's second choice. Don't ever bother me, she said. You made your choice. And she walks away and she's like, I'm never going to speak to him again. But that was not true. I was so excited, you guys. That seemed to be not true, because guess what? In episode 19, you see Rick at the airport. He's leaving. He's like, oh, there's no goodbye from Trisha. He's sad. He's got these fake tears in his eyes. You guys, my notes crack me up. My note says he's sad, but he's also still a simp. I cannot, because I cannot with him. And he's grossed, and he's a S tourist for sure. Like, I just cannot with this fool. This is on episode 19, and episode 18 was the same thing. Then he says that, he thought things were going to work out with Trisha, and he is thinking about all the good times they've had, quote, especially when she's in her good moods. Abby.
Just disgusting. He's just disgusting.
He feels hurt. He's leaving with, quote, no hope. And then he looks up and guess who's at the airport? After she said, never speak to me again. She shows up at the airport and says, I forgot to give you this. It was some matching outfits that she had purchased for them. And also she wanted to say goodbye to him because they will probably never see each other again. And she just really wanted to see him, I guess, for closure. Abby, what do you think that was about? Because I was like, you need to stand on your business. You need to stand 10 toes deep, 10 toes down, whatever y'all want to say. She needed to stand her ground.
I think that he was probably messaging her. He was probably messaging her all through the night into the morning and guilt tripping her. And she unfortunately succumbed.
I'm not into it. Olivia, thank you so much. I haven't got a super chat in like a year. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. By
the way, those of you who toggle between our pages are so kind for doing that. I appreciate it because it really does help us. Like when you when you comment, when you watch the replay, it helps us get out into more of the 90-day universe so that we can do this more often.
100%. 100%. We appreciate you. Tell a friend and tell a friend. She knows that she can't be with him, but her heart still loves him and she wants to make it work. So she's going to continue to be friends with him and see what happens. Absolutely not. Shane loved your hair, Abby. Love your hair, girl. Love your hair.
You like my wig?
Elise, Lauren Bierkan, Annalyn Joven. Okay, this is our last and certainly least. I need to pull this up. I'm just praying that my computer stuff doesn't show here. Hold on.
She's coming back, y'all. Hang on. She's clearly, I think it's going to be like a screen grab. She probably wants us to see for, what couple do we have left? I don't think there's anything to say about Emma. I hope there's nothing to say about Emma that I forgot about. The last couple of episodes, I have been completely ignoring Emma and her problems. I literally just write her name on my notes, and then I'll have nothing underneath it because she just irritates me. I mean, she's really nice, but her pursuit of a relationship with specifically a Moroccan man, I hope they ask her about it at the tell-all. Like, what is going on that you specifically want to pursue a relationship with a Moroccan man? I'd really like to know. Girl, I knew it. I knew you were coming back with some mess.
Ryan, you caught me. You caught me, Ryan. Okay, so listen. Lisa and Daniel are the last of the couples that we need to get through. They weren't in episode 18, but they sure were in episode 19. Lisa and Faith. So it's just My note says, "What in the bad blonde wig is going on here?"
Is there a name for that? The what she has done there? Is it like reverse styling or something? Reverse dyeing? Somebody tell us what this is called.
Please tell me, because I don't know. I think it's the same wig that she's been wearing, and she just dyed it blonde.
Oh,
Because
that makes sense
that
because
hard part, Abby, the hard part and the bangs are exactly the same. And
you're right.
the way that she is like this weird, like rat's nest on the side that she always has is the same as the wig that we showed you last week that was a mess that I just cannot. Y'all, hello. I asked you guys last week and I'm going to ask you guys again. I know that there's some Emma. Hello, Emma. Can we help a sister out? Can someone do something for her? Because this is the other reason, Abby, it took me so long. This took me out. This, what is this? What's happening here? Silver Lining says Balaj. Becca says it's called ghost roots if it's intentional. And it's called grow out if you're lazy. And that's an 80s wig. LOL. They used to always have bangs back then. My mom used to give me bangs. Ugh.
Well, you know what? In solidarity, let me just pull my bangs back here. Let me just. Do I have bangs now?
We're a mess over here, you guys. All I know is that is the worst of the worst, and someone needs to come get her. And so then we find out that Daniel wants her to get braids. I was like, what kind of braids? Bach braids? And Faith is like, you're a white woman, America, right? Side of laughter. And we find out that she's picked up another job. So she has 3 jobs, and she's getting like a little upset with him because she's like, where's his effort? She's feeling different about this situation, a little bit insecure because he's not been as responsive. And as you know, you guys, she's like, I'm not going to be able to send you any money because I'm really trying to work on the visa. And lo and behold, guess what? He's so busy now. Surprise, surprise. Daniel's not communicating as much. And her daughter Faith found some things on his, I don't know how it worked. It sounded really sketch to me, but logged into his emails that were attached to his WhatsApp, I think, and she found someone that is labeled wife, messaged the wife, and there were also other females in this list, and Liz was Liz baby and wife was wife chat, and it was a Nigerian number. I am not surprised by that. This fool, of course, has a full-on wife with kids. And here's the plan. He's told the wife and kids, I found the sponsor. I'm going to have to do what I have to do to get myself over to America. And that's why, like, let's get married right away. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as I get there and I get my green card, then I will get my citizenship. And then I'm going to sponsor you and the whole family to come over. Boom, we're done. Did I miss anything, Abby, like immigration wise?
No, people literally do that. They will invest years into doing that. Is it super common? No, but it does happen. I've seen it happen. Do they get caught? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yep.
Another one that's really common is that a married couple will come to the United States on a visas, like visitors visas. They'll divorce each other, and then they both seek out an American partner. I've seen that happen a couple of times.
Wow.
The most ridiculous one that I've seen happen, they applied on their own and got denied, and they came to me to see about doing an appeal. And I had never seen like a 15-page denial. like reading through all the reasons why their case was denied, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you. And the thing that was the most outrageous was they both married their American partner on the same day at the same courthouse.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm not surprised by this at all. And Lisa's upset that she's not getting any attention from Daniel. So she's starting to feel suspicious and she wants to confront him. So she does and asks him, you know, do you have a wife and a whole second family? And you know, this fool said, who is this wife? I don't know what you're talking about. Come with the evidence. He didn't say, oh no, what are you talking about? He's like, well, who do you think it is? Do you have any proof?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then he said, because you guys, we cannot forget this whole season, this fool said, you cannot come outside in public with me. And so when he said, I love your wig, died of laughter, Abby. Died of laughter.
Yeah. I just want to add one more thing that I think Americans need to be aware of. And I don't want to sound like somebody who's saying like all immigrants are trying to scam you or anything like that. So don't let it come off this way. Just if you date internationally, please be aware of the fact that the marriage process in other countries is not exactly like our marriage process. So you can be married and not have a legal marriage in other countries. So you have to make sure that you're asking the right questions and getting the right information when you're dating internationally.
100%. Because speaking from an African's perspective, you can have what we call a traditional Guinean wedding, but that doesn't make you actually married. You will still have to have a legal wedding when you get to Canada or wherever you're going. The traditional wedding just connects you and your tribe together, and oftentimes that's all they have, and that's all they need. But internationally speaking, if you're trying to like go to the West or wherever you're trying to go, just know that you could be a Canadian and you go marry your Nigerian, you have a traditional wedding, you come back to Canada, you're not legally married. You know that, right? But he could have like another wife that he's also had a traditional wedding with, but he's legal there and they have a whole family. And then he can come visit you on a visitor visa and then like impregnate you and then like take off whenever, and you have no legal
recourse.
To him. And
yeah,
that literally happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have. We're caught up, you guys. We're going to do the tell-all next. I'm super excited. I saw the previews and it looks a mess. Like, I don't know what Emma and Elise are fighting about, but it sounds all types of wrong. I love that Rick gets called out. There's a lot, you guys. There's a lot. So we will see.
Somebody called deemed that a Rick. I can't wait to see the full segment on that.
Same, girl. Same, baby daddy. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for being here with us late and all on a Wednesday. And bye for now. Toodles.
Bye. Oh, Tina's hitting the hearts. Thank you, Tina.
Love it. Let's take bets if Sean Robinson asks real questions. Woof.